going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Barron. Make sure to like and subscribe out there on YouTube. We are live. And today what we're going to be breaking down is we're going to go through one of my favorite things that we did last season, which was we go through old Robo-Poles, as we call him, where we have the simulator basically pick the picks for us, and then we just basically go off of that and we discuss what might happen. And the reason for this is we want to just see what would Ryan Poles potentially do, since a lot of times he takes people that we don't expect, or, no one can predict these things perfectly. So for today, we're just seeing what happens when we can't guess perfectly and we just let it happen. Also, too, it is fun because we always do simulations, but we never really see what the simulations actually do for us. So it's a great way for us to also learn about new players, because a lot of times they don't go chalk. They don't go what we normally go with. So that's what makes this extra fun. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe. We're getting so close to our 5,000 subscriber mark that we're looking for. Also, this is one of the first times I've gone live in quite some time. I got a new job, and so I've been working through that. Anyone that has had to change jobs, you know how crazy it can be. So right now I have off, which is excellent. But yeah, the whole transition has been a little nuts, hence the camera issues and other stuff like that. Also, Ron, my friend, what is going on? Bear down 2 days, my man. 2 days until we can kind of put some of this stuff to rest, because, man, it is crazy. Also, Broski saying, Brad drafted all Texas players. Better believe. Actually, it wouldn't be that bad, honestly. How you doing? I'm doing good, my friend. What is going on, Broski? Broski asking, what line of work you in? I'm in the tech field, so I'm actually going over to Microsoft. So it's a pretty cool job. So yeah, I'm pumped. I'm super, super pumped. And I have 2 weeks off before, so I get this week off with the family, and then we're going to go do some stuff. So it's awesome. Also, Michael, what is going on, my friend? Doing well. This is also my favorite time of year too, because I love this, because this is when the Bears get better. This is when we draft some people. Also, we finally get to figure out what the Bears are finally going to do. And also, what's left for you, the people? What I'm going to be doing is so tomorrow, what we're going to be doing is, I'm going to be breaking down some sleepers, some people that I really like out there. And then on Thursday morning, what we're going to be going through is on Thursday, we're just mainly going to be talking through what I think the Bears are going to do. I won't have a live show during it. PayPal and I are going to be hanging out, eating some deep dish pizza, because you don't really get that up here in Wisconsin too much. So we're just going to be hanging out, watching the draft out there. Skokes, what's going on, my friend? Also, Ron saying, I'm a high-paid cart guy. That's the way to go, man. Go around. Is it like cart guy for beer trucks? Or like for golfing? That'd be awesome. Also, Mr. Munoz, how's it going? Yeah, it's been a while. I'm so happy seeing all y'all out there too. This is a great feeling. So let's get into this, shall we? Actually, before we get into it, we have to talk about it. This is why we know that the NFL draft just has to happen. It has to finish. I don't know if anyone else saw this report, that there was someone talking that, hey, these scouts are telling me, these scout personnel, Caleb is just crazy. He's the prince of the NFL. And all I could think of, I don't know if there's any Dave Chappelle fans out there. All I picture is Dave Chappelle dressed up as Prince. And also, for those that don't know, Prince can play ball pretty freaking well, I guess, supposedly from Charlie Murphy's stories. But anyways, that's all I picture. But it's just, we're at this point in the NFL draft where it's just kind of frustrating. It's just kind of crazy. It's just kind of annoying a little bit, where these random stories are going to come out. I'm fine with Caleb. I'm excited for Caleb as well. Ron said, oh, supermarket. Yeah, that's my bad. I don't know why I initially just went straight to golf, but I did. Also, Broski saying Caleb making everyone pancakes. Yeah, after he wins, just, you know what? What do? Made us some pancakes. Dave, what is good, my friend? Can't wait to see what happens at number 9. Yahoo Sports saying Jared Verse to the Bears based on gambling odds. Oh, really? Is he now the favorite? Because that's the crazy part. Latu is now the favorite to go 8 that we're starting to see. And also, before we get into the simulations and everything like that, last little bit, the number 8 pick will not be a Chicago. We will not be moving up one pick. I don't know if anyone saw the Adam Schefter report. We are not going to be moving up. They're going to be penalizing them a year later. So, unfortunately, I would have loved to see us go grab that number 8. So, that's what I'm excited for. But yeah, Michael's saying, can't wait to see him work. That's what I can't wait because Caleb just has that dog in him. Caleb is an alpha. Caleb wants to win. And to me, bring it on. And also, there's pictures of him with Roma Dunze hanging out. So, I think we all would love to see that for sure. So let's get this started. But, and actually, right before that, Dave, good point. Only because Roma Dunze going to the Giants at 6. That's another piece, too, that I could see Rome going a little bit higher. That's actually a very good point. I was listening to some shows do like a giant mock draft, and Roma Dunze going higher was actually very in the cards, which I'm fine with if that means Malik Neighbors drops to the Bears. Because a lot of what people are saying is, well, Roma Dunze going higher, what that might mean is they just want a bigger body receiver than these smaller receivers. So that's the big piece. So let's get in here and let's talk about the NFL Mock Draft Simulator. We're going to be using the PFN Mock Draft Simulator. I am no one. So right now, the way that we do this is we're just going to simulate through this, and we're going to just see what happens. And then after that, when it's up to the Bears, we'll see who's on the board, talk through it, and then we'll see if Robo-Poles is terrible or Robo-Poles will be smart. And what's cool about these, I will say this about the Pro Football Network Simulator, they have built-in trades now, which is phenomenal. So that is something that I really like to see. So right now, I already started it. Obviously, I'll play the little chime for this just so that we at least get this. First pick in the NFL draft, the Chicago Bears select Caleb Williams. I already had the mock draft simulator going just because they have to draft Caleb Williams. They have to do that. Otherwise, this entire thing just blows up. But now we have the first 4 picks going through, and Caleb Williams, then it's Jaden Daniels going 2, Drake May going 3, Marvin Harrison going 4. Now let's see, Malik Neighbors going 5 to the Los Angeles Chargers. And then the Giants picking Joe Alt. After that, Olufashinu going to the Titans at 7. And holy crud, the Bears. So I just clicked play. They have the Bears trading up one spot to the Falcons. The pick's already in. I got to do the chime. This I call the trades. The Bears trade up from 9 to 8 to take Dallas Turner, defensive end out of Alabama. How are we feeling, chat? Are we hating this? Are we loving this? What would we think about this? Right now, I'm getting the yuck in the chat from Jeremy. Right now, because I was hoping that we could have some time at number 9 to kind of talk through this, but no, the Bears, Robo-Poles was like, screw it, I want Dallas Turner. And what does he do? He trades up. We don't know what he's traded yet. I guess I could kind of scroll through. Boo, says Broski. And then Michael's saying that will be a good thing. Okay, Michael's got some positivity out here. Jeremy's saying start over. Yeah, I might. I'm tempted, to be honest with you, just because this is very interesting. So who's on the board? Brock Bowers, Roma Dunze, Terrion Arnold, Latu, Talise Fuanga. I'd be pretty pissed right now. I don't know what we gave up. I'm going to scroll down just to see if we still have 75. We still have 75. 122. We still have. So we traded future draft capital to move up one spot. I don't like it. I don't really like that for sure. So, yeah, I think, to me, not a big fan. I like Dallas Turner. He's my edge 3, though. And that's where, if they want a speed rusher, that's ultimately what I would think that they would. If they want a speed rusher, then you go Dallas Turner. But I think overall, and I'll just continue this draft to just kind of keep going because we still have to go all the way down to 75. So to me, my feelings on this, we'll keep it going, right? Ron, we could go back. We could restart this. But we're going to keep on going just because we still have the other picks in the future at 75 and 122. But yeah, I feel everyone here would take Roma Dunze, or you go with a Byron Murphy. I think even if Roma Dunze is there, you go with Roma Dunze. I think it's a no-brainer, or you trade back. You don't trade up for Dallas Turner, but this is a new, Robo-Poles right now. I'm giving you an F. So that to me, I am not a big fan of that for sure. Mainly because just the level of defensive ends that are out there. I like Jared Verse. I think that he's got a high floor. That's what I'm really kind of rooting for with it. And Dallas Turner, though, he's got one of the highest ceilings, depending on what you think of Latu's injury. But to me, I'm not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of that for sure. That would be one of those things where you throw your drink across the room when that happens to you. So, Robo-Poles right now, I don't like you right now, Robo-Poles. And actually, I'm gonna also open up the never mind. So right now, what we have here, we're at pick 75 now, and just to kind of look at some of the picks that went right before us, Brendan Dorless, the edge/defensive tackle out of Oregon, goes at 67. Braden Fisk goes at 68. Defensive tackle out of Florida State. Javon Bullard, safety out of Georgia, 69. Troy Franklin, wide receiver, Oregon at 70. Bo Braid, the safety out of Maryland at 71. Malachi Corley, wide receiver out of Kentucky at 72. Cole Bishop, safety out of Utah at 73. And Michael Hall Jr., defensive tackle out of Ohio State, going at 74. So let's see who's available for what Robo-Poles is going to do. So looking on the offensive side of the ball, Jonathan Brooks, running back out of Texas, probably don't need that. Let's go look at some of these wide receivers that are out there. Jalen McMillan, wide receiver out of Washington, solid player. Like, I'm not head over heels over him by any means. Devontae Walker, wide receiver out of North Carolina. Johnny Wilson, I know some of you've heard me. I think he would eventually be tight end, but I think at the start he's probably going to play some wide receiver. Jermaine Burton, Malik Washington. So not a lot of good wide receivers at this 75 pick. Tight ends, Jatavion Sanders. And then tackles, Karan Omagaji. I like him. Centers, Van Pran is still available. And if we flip over to the defense, D tackles, Mason Smith and Dwayne Carter are still available. Same with Tavondre Sweat and Leonard Taylor. Edge, Austin Booker still available. Would have been nice to take him here rather than trading up for a defensive end. But hey, Robo-Poles saw, and Robo-Poles wanted what he wanted. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Love Dave saying Poles has been going against the grain in previous drafts. He really has. I think that's what a lot of people don't like. Like, I remember when I originally brought up Byron Murphy, this was like 2 months ago or so. I brought up Byron Murphy, and I know some people just didn't like that. But I bring up Byron Murphy just because Byron Murphy is actually higher rated on the consensus boards than Darnell Wright was at this time. And I think that's important to know because he doesn't go best player available. He goes position of need. But I do think that with Roma Dunze, that's where I think it changes because wide receiver isn't a huge position of need. It's still a need, but compared to some of the other defensive spots, for sure. AC Adam, what's good, my friend? Bear down. Munoz saying Jatavion Sanders. Let's see what the Bears do. Let's see, Robo-Poles. What are you going to do here? Okay, let's chime in the music. What? With the 75th pick in the NFL draft, Robo-Poles selects Cedric Van Pran, center out of Georgia. So what I can tell you about Van Pran is, to me, I think that he's a good center that you can have out there. The thing that he's more of a gap scheme type of a center rather than some of the other centers that are out there, but still, we don't know exactly what they would want to be seeking out for offensive linemen. Still a good, honestly, the third best center in the right now. So to me, getting him over, when you look at the wide receivers on the board, like Jalen McMillan and Devontae Walker, none of those really stand out to me. I don't mind it. I don't mind it with the people that are available. I wouldn't go tackle there with, even though Amagaji's there. I mean, I might, but I don't think tackle's a huge need, so to speak. Mason Smith would have been interesting, or Dwayne Carter. This, I think, would have been a perfect trade down scenario. But as we learned, Robo-Poles likes to trade up. So that's kind of his deal. So let's see what everyone's saying out there. Yeah, 4th rounder. Let's keep on simulating and let's move on down. But yeah, overall, Van Pran, not bad. So right now, Robo-Poles has selected Caleb Williams, traded up for Dallas Turner, and then selected Van Pran. Right now, if this was happening, I wouldn't be too happy. I mean, because yet again, my edge 3 is a Dallas Turner. He's fierce, right? And if they do have that much conviction, this is when I side with the pros that say, hey, we can probably teach them and kind of take them to that next level. So let's see. It's coming up to the Bears pick right now. And let's see what ends up happening and stop. All right. So right before the Bears pick, Blake Corum and Audric Estime get selected, the running backs. McKinley Jackson, defensive tackle out of Texas A&M, and Mekhi Wingo, defensive tackle LSU. Zach Zinter, a guard. But right now, Bears, this is our last pick right now at the 4th rounder. And Broski, not a big fan of Van Pran, it seems. And let's see what the Bears do. Let's see who's on the board right now. Wide receivers. We do not have a wide receiver. We have Jacob Cowing out of Arizona, solid. Luke McCaffrey, solid out of Rice. Taj Washington, solid. And this is where, too, I really like some of this depth. And my boy, Jaquan Jackson out of Tulane, 201. Yeah, I like the wide receivers. Would I select them at 122? I think that'd be a little rich. Cade Stover out of Ohio State still available, and Jared Wiley out of TCU. And Theo Johnson. So some good tight ends are still on the board for depth at tight end. Tight ends, Matt Goncalves out of Pittsburgh and Javon Foster out of Missouri. So solid tackles. We don't need a center, even though Hunter Narzad is available. This is actually what I'll say about Van Pran. And I want to just kind of call this out. I like Narzad and Limmer out of Arkansas at the center position. And that's why, to me, I feel you can get some of that depth later on. Even Drake Nugent out of Michigan, I think, is underrated. Even Andrew Rhyme out of Oklahoma, I don't hate those centers that are later on. But on the defense, if we want to go D-tackle, we got Tavondre Sweat after his DUI and Leonard Taylor, the third out of Miami. Leonard Taylor is a total Chicago Bears pick where it's just an all potential type of a guy right there. So let's see what they do. Broski saying, look at tight ends. Theo. Yeah, we'll see what they end up doing with this. So let's see. Resume. All right. They know a little bit about the Bears. With the 102nd pick 122, the Chicago Bears select Leonard Taylor III out of Florida. So to me, I don't mind this. I like this pick if you are going to go with the defensive tackle later on. The Bears, we know, they like to draft a defensive tackle with a lot of potential to their game. So that's where, to me, I don't mind this pick. And also, before I do that, I'm just going to scroll down to see if there's any other picks from the Chicago Bears that are out there. And no, we did not accumulate any more draft picks, which also I know that Ryan Poles said today. He said that he's not necessarily looking to move back. He likes the draft picks that they have. Yet again, to me, that is just that's just coach speak, so to say, GM speak, so to speak, because I think that I think that he's going to be looking for that. He's always looking to trade back, always looking to get extra picks for sure. So ultimately, we walk away Caleb Williams, and we have another simulator after this, and hopefully that goes a little bit better. But our first simulator goes with Caleb Williams. Then we go trade up for Dallas Turner to move one spot from 9 to 8. Cedric Van Pran at pick 75. And then ending it out with Leonard Taylor. And I didn't finish my entire assessment on Leonard Taylor, but to me, first off, let me know what you think in the chat. How did we do? And then Leonard Taylor, though, I'll say this. If you look late in rounds at like pick 122 and you get him there, I don't mind that at all, because the Bears want someone with high potential. To me, give me the guy with the high potential out there. And if they feel like they can coach him, sure. And in the 4th round, why not? Right? Why not? You're going to, majority of 4th round picks don't hit well. So why not take someone that has this higher ceiling? So I don't hate that pick, especially since defensive tackle, you do need some sort of help out there. So yeah. Broski saying this draft stinks. Yeah, right now, I'm not giving Robo-Poles a raise right now. I'm not liking what he has out there. Ron said MHJ said he wants to be a Bear. Where's the source? That's the big thing that I'm curious about. What's the source with that? I think that he would want to, especially with Caleb Williams. This team's going to be exciting. So I definitely could see that. And love Dave saying Bears are for sure looking at character, hence the trade down with Jalen Carter. Agreed. That's the thing that bugs me with T'Vondre Sweat. As a Texas Longhorn fan, I would love to see Sweat for the Bears, but there's so many, not rumors. He's legit said that he has a partying problem to the NFL teams. So the NFL teams are saying, we know that you have a partying, right? He parties too much, and then he gets a DUI. Like it's a bad look for him. So yeah, I think Sweat ultimately Bears would not necessarily go with. So that's where going with Taylor at that spot, I didn't mind that. But yeah, overall, I would give it a D grade. Like I don't know, I don't like that. So let's go to simulator number 2, and hopefully Ryan Poles, Robo-Poles, will do a little bit better. And let's see. Let's flip over to the screen and let's see. And hopefully Robo-Poles, let's do this. So we're at the mock draft database simulator. And just because anyone that's used this, it's a good mock draft simulator, but if you look at the top picks, they will just go crazy with it. And I like it, but yeah, early on, they'll just do nuts things. So to start out, I am going to go Caleb Williams, and then I'm going to switch it to auto draft, and then I'm going to pause it. See, this is what I'm talking about. They have this out here, and also we can trade. So I'm actually curious. If anyone wants to trade, we can definitely trade back here. But there is Rome Odunze on the board. So right now, right before us, Cooper DeJean went to Atlanta. A lot of people have him as actually the best corner / safety. Right now on the board, we have Rome Odunze at 6, Joe Alt at 8, Dallas Turner at 9, Brock Bowers 10, Quinion Mitchell is there, Laiatu, Jared Verse, Byron Murphy. So let's see what now, do we want to trade this pick? Because I can allow it here because this one doesn't allow for the Bears to trade. So I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. Should we trade this pick? Also, Brad Baxter saying we're becoming a place where players want to come to. Strange, but good times, right? Like we're not used to this. It's we're the place where wide receivers go to die. Which I think that Caleb might have too many weapons, which I am more than fine with. I think that the numbers might be down for some of these receivers if they go with like a Rome Odunze, but still, I like it. So, you know what? For the sake of making this last a little bit longer, actually, you know what? I'm going to trade back. I'm going to trade back for the sake of this lasting longer, just because of that, just because I want to see if Robo-Poles is going to mess some things up. Let's see. I'm going to go with Indianapolis. So and actually I want to bring this up too. There is a lot of hype. There's some news that came out today. Keep in mind, we are in prime smokescreen season right now, where they were saying that there is a huge market for Brock Bowers right now, that the Bears would like the Brock Bowers market is going crazy a little bit. So I like hearing that for sure, that Brock Bowers is becoming a bigger name that people want to get. And a lot of people are saying he's either going to go at 9 to the Bears or 10 to the Jets. So some people want to move up. The Colts, we're going to have the Colts trade up. And just so that this works, we're trading 9 and 75 for 15, 46, and 82. just so that works. We get a first and a second. And then we'll pause right before. Of course, Joe Alt goes right before the Bears. Let's see who Robo-Poles ends up taking. We won't trade back. We'll stay at 15. Dallas Turner's still on the board. Brock Bowers still on the board. Latu's on the board. Olu's on the board. Let's see what Robo-Poles does. All right. Interesting selection with this. Let's punch it in. 15th pick in the NFL draft. The Chicago Bears select Olu Fashanu, offensive tackle out of Penn State. Chat, what do we think about this selection? Olu, to me, best pass protector. I've said this before. My biggest question with this is, what do you do with Braxton Jones? I feel if they're making this selection, they feel that either Braxton Jones or Darnell Wright is going to be a guard. And that's why it leads me to Braxton Jones shifting on the inside, being your starting left guard, and then Fashanu being that left tackle out there on the left hand at that left tackle position. Also, I've brought this up before, and something that I just am continuously going to bring up as a question. The Chicago Bears, there's a lot of people in the know that say that are mocking the Bears at drafting an offensive lineman. And I think that is the big question, in my opinion, is, are the Bears actually going to go offensive line? Because a lot of people say that they're going to build around the quarterback. Now, Rome Odunze, if Rome Odunze is there, like we've all said, if Rome Odunze is there, we want the Bears to select him, right? Like, that's just a slam dunk pick. But ultimately, Olu gets paired up with Caleb Williams. If the Bears trade back and did this, I wouldn't love it, but I wouldn't hate it, if that makes sense. So if they went with them, yeah, it's an up and down thing. But yeah, the reason why he's kind of fallen off of some draft boards is that run blocking giant question mark. Now, the difference between him and Darnell Wright, that I will say, Darnell Wright was a sloppy run blocker, but when he got his hands on you, you saw the potential. Olu, when he gets his hands on you, he's not a beefy blocker, and that's actually what True Blue's saying too. Yeah, he's physically not insanely strong. I do agree with that. Baxter saying upgrading the trenches are always a good pick, not the sexy pick, but always needed. That's a good way to put it too, because also a lot of these players, they are. It takes a year, right? Especially from a tackle perspective. But like I've said about Olu, what I really like about Olu is his ability to just pass block day one is my biggest piece, is that the pass blocking is just, he's an all another level. So also, like with Creighton, what's going on, my friend? He's saying Olu was Caleb's high school teammate. That will be fun too, just to see them playing together as well. So let's see what the Bears are going to do next at pick 46. This is why I wanted to trade back, just so that we could get this. What in the actual heck just went on? It won't even let me pause this draft. What in the world? Okay, Robo-Poles, you're fired. Let's punch this in. First off, it won't pause the draft. With the 46th pick in the NFL draft, the Chicago Bears select Michael Penix Jr.? Robo-Poles, you're fired. You're fired. You get out of here, Robo-Poles. Robo-Poles, as the robots AI has taken over. They're not going to let us even make a selection anymore. We'll just kind of see the final results as they happen out there. We might have to redo this. That's what True Blue's saying out here. So they have the Bears taking Michael Penix Jr. with the 46th pick. That is a waste of a trade back. Hey, you know what? They're like, we're gonna trade back so we're not gonna mess this up. We're gonna do a RG3 Kirk Cousins situation, I guess. Yeah, there's no explaining that besides that. And then going Trey Benson, running back out of Florida State at pick 82, and Jeremiah Trotter, 122 to Clemson from Clemson. Yeah. Robo-Poles went. Yeah, it was worse than the last one. I thought we were going to legitimately have a better grade this time around. Nope. But this is also what shows this is what happens in these mock draft simulators when we're not controlling it. This happens. Caleb Williams. All right, so here is the final selections. Caleb Williams, Olu Fashanu, then Michael Penix Jr., Trey Benson, and Jeremiah Trotter. I think if this happens, us as Bears fans would have the most weirdest, what the heck are we doing here? What is this? Robo-Poles? You're fired, man. You're fired. This is not great. Let's restart this. I'm going to restart this real quick because I got to hide the ads and do all that jazz with it. Let's do this one more time. Robo-Poles, man, I got faith in you. I got faith in you that maybe you could do something that's worthwhile, Robo-Poles. Let's do this. I'm going to just set this up. We are going to do that. I'm going to set this up as a free-for-all or standard and free-for-all and Chicago Bears. Let's enter the draft room. And let me just make sure Caleb Williams is selected. And let me just make sure ads are hidden. Nice. All right. Yeah, Robo-Poles, Robo-Poles just really wanted to find that franchise quarterback, so he just went double with it. So let's go with this. Yeah, he challenges inner Ryan Pace. That's what I love. He went inner Ryan Pace and just completely went rogue with this. So let's see what ends up happening on this one. Okay, this was actually fairly chalk, I could say. At pick number 9, let's see where we go with this too. Pick number 9, Joe Alt, Dallas Turner, Brock Bowers, Quinyon Mitchell, Terrion Arnold, and Jared Verse. And also Byron Murphy still on the board. Fashanu still on the board. Fuanga, Brian Thomas Jr. I'm kind of feeling that we should trade back. That's just my vibe right now. So that's my feeling. John saying, do a mock draft where Bears trade 1 and 9 for Justin Herbert or Josh Allen. Did Josh Allen sign a new deal? Or, no, because I remember seeing Justin Herbert, we can't, but yeah, trade those and all of a sudden, what can we do from there? Cred saying, gotta be alt. Do we want to select alt or do we want to trade back? As part of me wants me to trade back just for the sake of seeing what Robo-Poles does. That's part of my thing. But yeah, easily, if this is the situation, I am not a fan of the Bears going O-line at 9, but if Joe Alt is there, that is a blue chip left tackle, right? You can't really pass on that. Unless, and I'm glad that the board actually felt this way too. What would the New Orleans Saints give up for a tackle? And Daniel Jeremiah posted this out. He said, name a team that is more hungry for a tackle in the NFL than the New Orleans Saints. So to me, New Orleans, that would be interesting because they love to trade up. They love to get their guy. If the Bears saw this scenario where there's no wide receivers and Joe Alt on the board, I would definitely have the phone open. I would definitely call and be like, okay, New Orleans, what's the haul that I'm going to get for this, right? So let's see this. Let's switch it over to automatic draft and let's play this. And let's see what they do. You got to be kidding me. Robo-Poles, you're fired. You're fired, Robo. Pick in the draft. Robo-Poles, the genius that he is, selects Brian Thomas Jr. Wide receiver, LSU. This is why we should have traded back. Robo-Poles is an idiot. This is the last time we'll do it this year. Okay. Robo-Poles, you could have, but you go Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr. I know that some people have mocked the Bears taking a wider, I know some people at one point in the draft season, there was someone that was like, Brian Thomas should go top 10. No, he shouldn't. Brian Thomas is a very good wide receiver, but he's not nearly as talented as the other wide receivers that are out there. Cred say Robo-Poles is terrible. Yes, he is. Good God. Robo-Poles has been miserable. I swear, those that watched this last year, this was better. What happened? What has happened to technology, ladies and gentlemen? These mock draft simulators aren't the way they used to build them, man. Yeah, Jeremy, I'm out. I agree. Let's see. Let's just finish this off at pick 75. Let's see what Robo-Poles does. Yeah, Robo-Poles. Let's do the 5. Robo-Poles has selected Christian Mahogany, guard out of Boston College. Don't get me wrong. I like Christian Mahogany. But at number 75, no, not so much. Not so much at all, Robo-Poles. But let's finish this off with Robo-Poles' last pick. What could possibly go wrong? Theo Johnson's on the board. You could draft Theo Johnson or Van Pran. Let's see what he does. All right. We'll end on this note. With pick 122, Robo-Pole selects Jordan Jefferson, defensive tackle out of LSU. All right. Well, what did we learn here? What did we learn here, ladies and gentlemen? And also, cred say too, we could have had Cooper Beebe instead of Christian Mahogany. He takes that, right? We could have had that. What did we learn here, ladies and gentlemen? We learned that if you're going to make a technology, if you're going to make a piece of tech, or if you're going to do a mock draft simulator, please check to see who goes before the Chicago Bears, because they could be taking the same picks that we see right there, where the final one, as we've gone through this, we had the Bears, the Robo-Poles had them go Caleb Williams, trade up for Dallas Turner, select Van Pran, go with Leonard Taylor. Towards the end, that wasn't bad. But then it could also go Caleb Williams, Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Mahogany, and Jordan Jefferson. Screechy, what's good, my friend? Say Robo-Poles hitting the PEDs. Ladies and gentlemen, this was interesting. This was interesting to say the least. Definitely for sure. You want just to end this? Let's just do a. No, I think I'm done with mock drafts for today. This was fun though. It was a crazy little scenario, and honestly, I hope that this doesn't happen. I should just keep these screenshots, because whatever Ryan Poles does can't be worse than that for sure. Like we said. True Blues say, let's do the trade up draft. Let's do one. Maybe. I think this is it. I see people logging off for this. This was fun though. And those listening, you're probably like shaking your heads like, come on, Robo-Poles, what are you doing? That's how we feel too right about now as well. But guys, thank you so much. It's awesome to be live again. We have a show tomorrow where I'll be breaking down draft sleepers and people you should be keeping an eye out for. I'll post that out there so that I want to have that live so that I can hear your guys' favorite players in the draft, your favorite sleepers as well. And then Thursday morning, I'll be posting a show talking about what I would do with the Bears, not Robo-Poles, but what I would actually do out there. So what time tomorrow? I'm thinking 7:30-ish. So like 7:15, 7:30-ish. So that's what I'm going to think about that I think about 7:30-ish or so at night. And then in the morning, I'll do that on Thursday morning. I don't know. I might do that live. I might do that during the day because I have off. So that what I might have to do. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been a blast. Robo-Poles, you suck. And with that, but you guys are all awesome. Robo-Poles, you got to get better. With that, Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long